These 4 types of wine improve circulation and intimacy after 60 life lessons from the elderly. A whisper of hope for a life reconnected. You're sitting quietly in your favorite armchair, the weight of the years settling around you like a familiar blanket. The world feels slower now, and so does your body. Maybe you've noticed a distance creeping into your life, not just from your partner, but from the man you used to be. The spark of intimacy, once so effortless, seems like a distant memory. But what if that spark isn't gone? What if the way you've approached intimacy all your life has been holding you back, and there's a way to change it, starting today? I'm Dr. James Carter, a urologist and men's health specialist who spent over 30 years helping thousands of men across America rediscover their confidence, their health, and their connection after 65. And let me tell you something. Intimacy doesn't have to fade with age. The real barrier isn't your body. It's what you were never taught. Today, I'm sharing 5 powerful secrets about sex that older men wish they'd known sooner. Secrets that could have saved their relationships, their self-esteem, and even their lives. These truths aren't just advice. They're a lifeline to a richer, more connected chapter of your life. Before we dive in, I want to invite you to join our community on YouTube, where I share weekly tips to help you live vibrantly after 65. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a video that could transform your life. Ready to rediscover what intimacy can mean for you? Let's get started. The myth of spontaneous passion. Why it's holding you back. Hook. What if your biggest mistake was believing intimacy should just happen? Have you ever felt the sting of a moment that didn't go as planned? A night when you reached for your partner, only to find your body wasn't ready, and the shame that followed? What if that moment wasn't your fault, but a myth you've been carrying for decades? When you were 30, intimacy was like a summer storm, wild, sudden, and unstoppable. You didn't need to plan. Desire and ability flowed as one, and the thrill of spontaneity was part of what made it exciting. But here's the truth no one tells you. After 65, expecting that same lightning bolt of passion is like waiting for a river to run uphill. It's not just unrealistic. It's a trap that steals your confidence and your connection. Take Harold, a 72-year-old retired carpenter from Ohio. After his divorce, he met Sarah, a kind woman who made his heart race again. One evening, they grew close, but when the moment turned intimate, Harold's body didn't respond. He froze, made an excuse, and never tried again. Not because he didn't want to, but because he felt broken. I thought I was supposed to just be ready, he told me, his voice heavy with regret. Harold's story isn't rare. I've seen countless men in my clinic, heads bowed, believing they've failed because they couldn't summon passion on demand. Why spontaneity fades, and why that's okay. As we age, our bodies change like the seasons. Blood flow slows, hormones shift, and stress or medications can dampen arousal. A 2019 study in the Journal of Sexual Medicine found that 60% of men over 65 experience some degree of erectile dysfunction, often tied to vascular changes or medications. But here's the key. This isn't a failure, it's biology. Clinging to the idea that intimacy should be spontaneous sets you up for disappointment, shame, and even health risks. Without preparation, sudden intimacy can strain your heart, especially if you're on blood pressure meds or have undiagnosed cardiovascular issues. I've counseled widows who lost their husbands during unplanned passionate moments. Men like Leonard, 74, who ignored his doctor's warnings and pushed his body too far. The cost isn't just emotional, it can be fatal. The power of intention. Here's the secret. Intimacy after 65 thrives on intention, not impulse. Planning doesn't kill the magic, it creates it. It's about setting the stage, a quiet dinner, a warm conversation, a moment to relax your mind and body. It's checking your medications, eating a heart-healthy meal, and talking openly with your partner. A 2021 study in Archives of Sexual Behavior showed that couples over 60 who planned intimate moments reported 30% higher satisfaction than those who relied on spontaneity. Take George, a 70-year-old from Texas. After years of frustration, he and his wife, Linda, started scheduling date nights. They'd light candles, share a glass of wine, and talk, really talk. "It's not like when I was 25, George said, but it's better. I feel closer to her than ever." That's the wisdom of age. Intimacy built on presence, not performance. Your turn to reflect. When was the last time you felt pressure to perform without warning? How did it make you feel? What if you could let go of that pressure and embrace a new kind of closeness? Try this. Plan a quiet evening with your partner this week. No expectations, just connection. Notice how it feels. But there's another secret, even more urgent. One that could save your life. Part 2. Your erection is a window to your heart. What if your bedroom struggles are trying to save your life? Have you noticed a change in your body's response lately? A moment when things didn't work as they used to? What if that wasn't just a personal failure, but your body's desperate cry for help? Too many men see erectile dysfunction, ED, as a private embarrassment, something to hide, joke about, or ignore. But here's the truth. Your erection is more than a sexual response. It's a barometer of your heart health. When blood flow falters in one area, it's a warning that your entire cardiovascular system might be in trouble. I'll never forget David, a 67-year-old from Michigan. He came to me with a sheepish grin, saying, "Doc, things aren't working down there. Probably just age, right?" But I didn't laugh. I ran tests, and 3 weeks later, David was in surgery for a 90% blockage in his heart's main artery, the widowmaker. He called me from his hospital bed, voice shaking. I thought I had a sex problem. Turns out, I was a heartbeat away from dying. The science of blood flow. The arteries in your penis are smaller than those in your heart, so they clog faster. A 2020 study in the American Journal of Cardiology found that men with ED are 50% more likely to have heart disease, often years before other symptoms appear. ED isn't just a bedroom issue. It's a red flag for high blood pressure, diabetes, or clogged arteries. Ignoring it is like ignoring a check engine light on your car. You might keep driving, but the crash is coming. The emotional toll is just as heavy. Men like Walter, a 71-year-old from Florida, withdraw when ED strikes. "I stopped touching my wife," he told me. "I was too ashamed to fail again." That shame led to distance, silence, and a marriage that nearly crumbled. Not from lack of love, but from fear of vulnerability. What you can do: don't hide, act. A single doctor's visit can catch problems early. A 2022 study in Circulation showed that lifestyle changes, better diet, exercise, and stress management improved ED in 40% of men over 60, while also lowering heart risk. Medications like statins or blood thinners, prescribed safely, can help too. And talking to your partner? That's medicine for the soul. Take Robert, a 69-year-old from California. After an ED scare, he got his heart checked, started walking daily, and opened up to his wife. "It was awkward at first," he said, "but now we're closer than we've been in years." His heart's stronger, and so is his marriage. A question for you. Have you noticed changes in your body that you've been too embarrassed to address? What's holding you back from talking to a doctor or your partner? Make a promise to yourself. Schedule that checkup this month. Your life and your love depend on it. But there's another layer to intimacy that's just as vital, and it's not about your body at all. Part 3. Sex as emotional medicine. Healing beyond the physical. What if intimacy could heal more than your body? Do you remember a time when a single touch made you feel truly seen? When your partner's hand on yours carried more than warmth, it carried understanding. What if that kind of connection could save your soul? Intimacy after 65 isn't just about physical pleasure. It's a lifeline for your heart and mind. When you touch or are touched, your body releases oxytocin, dopamine, and serotonin, chemicals that lift your mood, ease stress, and even strengthen your immune system. But when that connection fades, the loss cuts deeper than you might realize. Martin, a 74-year-old widower from Colorado, came to me feeling numb. After losing his wife, he'd shut down, convinced intimacy was for the young. "What's the point now?" he asked. But I saw the pain in his eyes, not for sex, but for closeness. Over time, that isolation led to depression, insomnia, and rising blood pressure. Martin wasn't just lonely, He was starving for human connection. The cost of emotional distance. A 2021 study in the Journal of Geriatric Psychiatry found that emotional isolation in men over 65 increases the risk of depression by 25% and heart disease by 15%. Chronic loneliness raises cortisol, weakens immunity, and accelerates cognitive decline. I've seen men age a decade in a year, not because of illness, but because they had no one to hold, no one to share their fears with. The tragedy is that many men don't even realize they're starving. They tell themselves affection is weakness, that need is for others. They withdraw, even from loving partners, building walls that keep out pain, but also joy. I met Frank, a 70-year-old from Arizona, who hadn't touched his wife in years. "We're fine," he said, but his trembling hands told another story. When they finally talked, really talked, they rediscovered a warmth they'd forgotten, reclaiming emotional intimacy. You don't need a partner to nurture connection. A 2023 study in psychology and aging showed that self-acceptance and platonic touch, like hugging a friend, boost oxytocin levels. For those with partners, small acts matter. Holding hands, sharing a memory, or simply listening. And yes, self-touch, done mindfully, can be healing too. Take Carl, a 68-year-old from Illinois. After prostate surgery, he feared intimacy was over. But with therapy and open talks with his partner, he found joy in non-sexual closeness, cuddling, laughing, being present. "I feel more alive now," he said, "because I'm not hiding." Your turn to reflect. When was the last time you felt truly connected to your partner, a friend, or even yourself? What's one small step you could take to invite more closeness into your life? Try it. Reach out to someone you love this week. But there's a hidden danger many men face, one that's rewiring their brains and stealing their confidence. Part 4. Pornography, the silent thief of connection. What if the escape you turn to is stealing your joy? Have you ever found yourself alone with a screen, seeking a spark you can't seem to find elsewhere? What if that quick fix is quietly destroying your ability to feel real connection? Pornography is a silent epidemic among older men. It's easy, private, and seems harmless until it isn't. What starts as a curiosity or escape becomes a habit that reshapes your brain, your expectations, and your ability to love. I've seen it in men like Walter, the 71-year-old from Florida. After years of watching porn, he stopped touching his wife. "Nothing felt exciting anymore," he said. "I thought it was her, but it was me." How porn rewires you. Porn floods your brain with dopamine, creating a craving for novelty and perfection, things real intimacy can't match. A 2022 study in Frontiers in Psychology found that frequent porn use in men over 60 is linked to delayed arousal, erectile dysfunction, and lower relationship satisfaction. Over time, you may struggle to feel aroused by touch alone, or feel bored by the imperfect, beautiful reality of your partner. The emotional cost is devastating. Men like Paul, a 73-year-old from Oregon, felt trapped in a cycle of guilt. "I'd watch, then feel empty," he said. "I couldn't look my wife in the eye." That shame eroded his confidence, pushing him further from the connection he craved. Breaking free. Quitting porn isn't easy, but it's possible. A 2020 study in Journal of Sexual Research showed that men who reduced porn use for 30 days reported 20% higher arousal with partners. Start small. Replace screen time with real connection, a walk, a talk, a touch. Therapy can help, as can support groups. For Jack, a 66-year-old from New York, quitting porn was a turning point. "I started noticing my wife again," he said. "Her smile, her laugh, it's better than any video." A question for you. Have you ever turned to porn to fill a void? How to make you feel afterward? What if you could trade that emptiness for something real? Try this. Go a week without it, and notice how your senses awaken. But there's one final secret, and it's the most dangerous of all. Part 5. The peril of proving yourself, when ego risks everything. What if your need to prove you're still young could cost you everything? Have you ever felt a surge of pride? A moment when you wanted to show the world you've still got it? What if that moment of bravado is the most dangerous time of all? For many men over 65, the urge to prove they're still vital can lead to reckless choices. A new romance, a compliment, or a good day at the doctor's office sparks a desire to perform like they did at 30. But pushing your body too far, too fast, can have catastrophic consequences. Leonard, the 74-year-old I mentioned earlier, was charming and full of life. When he started dating a younger woman, he felt invincible. "I'm about to keep up," he joked. But he ignored his heart condition, skipped his meds, and took an over-the-counter enhancement pill. That night, he collapsed from a heart attack.